Welcome back, Gen Xers and everyone interested in what makes Gen X unique. Today, we're taking a high-octane trip to the car racing culture of Gen X, the golden age of motorsports. The music, the style, and most importantly, the car's raw horsepower, ground effects, and legendary personalities. We'll spend a few minutes on the international glamour of Formula One, then bring it home with the thunder of NASCAR. Get ready for iconic footage, epic rivalries, and the cars that became legends. This isn't just history, it's a celebration of when racing was pure dangerous and unbelievably cool. Turn on captions for all the juicy details and let's drop the green flag on the 80s. First up, a driver they called the Rainmaster. Ayrton Senna. Just saying the name gives racing fans chills. He burst onto the Formula One scene in 1984, instantly different, instantly electric. His breakthrough? The 1985 Portuguese Grand Prix. Torrential rain, chaos everywhere, but Senna dominated, lapping nearly the entire field. That black and gold Lotus 97T, powered by a screaming Renault turbo, was a beast, but Senna made it dance. He managed fuel, tamed the turbo, and showed the world what true car control looked like. After 3 seasons with Lotus, Senna's move to McLaren in 1988 set the stage for greatness. Teaming with Alain Prost, he piloted the legendary McLaren MP 4/4. 15 wins in 16 races, Senna taking 8 and his first world title. His qualifying lap at Monaco that year, nearly a second and a half faster than Prost. Pure instinct, pure magic. Senna was aggressive, fearless, and an artist at the wheel. Whether in the black and gold Lotus or the red and white McLaren, he defined the spirit of 80s Formula One. His passion and intensity made him a hero, and his legacy still inspires racers today. Senna wasn't just fast, he was transcendent. He made every lap a masterpiece. In the rain or in the dry, Senna was the standard. The 80s belonged to Ayrton Senna. On the other side of the McLaren garage stood Alain Prost, the professor. Where Senna was, Fire Prost was ice-smooth, calculating, and always thinking 2 steps ahead. He mastered the art of winning championships by being gentle on his car and relentless in his consistency. Prost's first title came in 1985 with the McLaren Tag Porsche, a car that set the standard for strength and speed. In 1986, against faster Williams Hondas, Prost's patience paid off. He snatched the title in a dramatic season finale. Before McLaren, Prost's years with Renault pioneered turbocharging, but reliability heartbreaks shaped his conservative, clever style. The bitter rivalry with Senna peaked in 1989 psychological warfare, on-track clashes, and a controversial collision at Suzuka. Prost clinched his 3rd world title, proving that brains could outlast raw speed. He wasn't flashy, but the stopwatch never lied. Prost's subtlety and racecraft made him a legend. He showed that championships are won over seasons, not just single laps. The professor's legacy? Precision, intelligence, and a relentless drive to win. In the high-stakes world of 80s F1, Prost was the master strategist. He turned racing into a science, and he made winning look effortless. While Senna and Prost grabbed headlines, Nelson Piquet was quietly racking up titles and rewriting the rulebook. The Brazilian playboy was a fierce competitor and a technical genius. Piquet's first championship came in 1981 with Brabham, using clever suspension tricks to outsmart the field. In 1983, he made history. First F1 title with a turbocharged engine, taming the wild BMW-powered Brabham BT52. Piquet and designer Gordon Murray pushed boundaries with radical aerodynamics and fuel strategies. He was more than a driver. He developed cars, managed engines, and outfoxed rivals like Prost. Piquet's championships were triumphs of both skill and innovation. He knew when to push, when to save, and how to win at the last possible moment. Not as romanticized as Senna, but for much of the 80s, Piquet was the man to beat. His blend of speed and smarts made him a true great. Piquet proved that brains and bravery could conquer the wildest era of F1. He was the ultimate under-the-radar champion. Back in the States, NASCAR's 80s belonged to one man, Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. Tough, aggressive, and fearless, he changed the game with his relentless style. Earnhardt's first Cup title came in 1980, just his 2nd full season, driving a blue and yellow Monte Carlo. He won with consistency, grit, and a refusal to have a bad day. But the legend truly began in 1984 with Richard Childress Racing. The black number 3 Goodwrench Chevy became NASCAR's most feared sight. Earnhardt's prime back-to-back championships in 1986 and 1987, perfecting the bump and run and thrilling fans everywhere. The Monte Carlo Aero Coupe, with its sloped rear window, gave him an edge on superspeedways. 11 wins in 1987, including the iconic pass in the grass, cemented his status as a force of nature. Earnhardt was NASCAR's anti-hero, the man in black, and a legend for a generation. He combined raw talent with a take-no-prisoners attitude. Every race he was a threat. He defined the 80s for stock car fans. Earnhardt didn't just race, he intimidated. He made every lap a battle. The 80s were his proving ground. If Earnhardt was the bad boy, Darrell Waltrip was his perfect foil. Jaws, the outspoken, polished rival. Waltrip's golden years came with Junior Johnson's team, winning back-to-back titles in 1981 and 1982 in the iconic Mountain Dew Buick Regal. He was a master on short tracks, with a smooth, relentless style that wore out the competition. Waltrip's crew always found an edge, pushing the rulebook to its limits. In those 2 seasons, he racked up an incredible 24 wins. Switching to Chevrolet, he stayed a contender and clinched a 3rd title in 1985, outlasting Bill Elliott in a classic battle. In 1987, Waltrip became an owner driver with the Tide Chevrolet, proving he could succeed on his own terms. His crowning moment, finally winning the Daytona 500 in 1989, coasting across the line on fumes after a perfect fuel strategy. The victory lane celebration was legendary, pure joy after years of heartbreak. Waltrip was a giant of the 80s, with 3 championships and a Daytona 500 win. He was the thinking man's racer, always in the mix. Waltrip and Earnhardt's rivalry defined the era. He was a superstar, a showman, and a champion. Every race, he brought drama and skill. Waltrip was the heart of 80s NASCAR. Then there was Bill Elliott, Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, the quiet Georgia hero who let his speed do the talking. In 1985, Elliott stunned the sport, winning the Winston Million by capturing 3 of NASCAR's crown jewel races. His family-run team with Brother Ernie's engines and the slippery Coors Ford Thunderbird was unbeatable on superspeedways. Elliott's comeback at Talladega, making up 2 laps under green to win, became instant legend. He won 11 races that year, becoming Million Dollar Bill and the People's Champion. The red and white Thunderbird was a product of the Aero Wars, and Ernie's engines were untouchable. Elliott's popularity soared. He was voted most popular driver 16 times. In 1987, he set a NASCAR speed record at Talladega, 212.809 miles per hour, a mark that will never be broken. After years of heartbreak, Elliott finally won the championship in 1988, beating Rusty Wallace. He was the ultimate underdog, humble, fast, and fiercely determined. Elliott's story was a family triumph built in their own shop and raced into history. He set records that still stand and inspired fans everywhere. Bill Elliott was the soul of NASCAR's 80s. He proved that heart and horsepower could conquer giants. Awesome Bill became a legend. What a decade. Formula One's high-tech drama with Senna, Prost, and Piquet, and NASCAR's raw battles with Earnhardt, Waltrip, and Elliott. The 80s gave us legends, iconic cars, and memories that last a lifetime. These drivers were rock stars with helmets, pushing limits, and thrilling fans. If you love this trip through what makes Gen X such a rich and unique generation, hit like and subscribe for more. You are greatly appreciated in our channel. We want to hear from you. Which is your favorite, F1 or NASCAR? Who was your favorite, Senna or Prost? Earnhardt or Waltrip? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Remember, we belong to the greatest generation ever, Generation X. Until next time, keep being awesome, stay healthy, and God bless.